So we all know that Football Manager 2019 is full of new features, and this is one of them. We now got our own press conference. You know, when you go to press conferences now, it now automatically puts you in this room. Either way, we're going to start this episode with a press conference for the Dortmund stuff and what's coming up in Dortmund and things like that. So first question from the audience, please. Yes, you over there.
Hi there. I'm just wondering, whereabouts are your legs?
I can't. I don't know. Where actually are they? They've gone. I mean, that's a little bit disturbing, actually. So, next question, please. We'll try and brush over that one. Next question.
Will you ever learn how to pronounce players' names correctly?
No, is the short and simple answer. No. I'm always going to get things wrong, and as much as you try to correct me in the comment section, which I do appreciate, I do appreciate being correct in the comment section. I try my best, but I'm always going to get it wrong, and there's always going to be someone there telling me I'm getting it wrong, and I just get into the habit of saying it wrong anyway. So. Please don't be cross with me, but it's just going to happen. Next question, please. Just over there, please, from that young gentleman.
Have you remembered to put the link in the description for the giveaway?
I should put it. No, I've not done it again. Let me just do that quickly. One final question, please, just from you over there.
Are you looking forward to tonight's Champions League clash? Can you win the whole Champions League this season?
Yeah, I am looking forward, actually, to tonight's Champions League clash. We've got a very good chance of winning today's game. And actually, I think as Dortmund as a whole, we've got a great chance of winning the Champions League this season or next season. I think that's going to be, you know, the ultimate aim, I think, to try and win a Champions League in this little beta that we've got going on. So I think we've got a good chance of doing it. Let's see if we can start it on our campaign today. Hello and welcome back to the Football Manager 2019 beta with Dortmund. Hope you're all doing well. I hope you like that little introduction as well with the press conference. We won't do it every single episode, but I think it's something I'd quite like to do going forward. If you've got questions about the series or things like that, or actual sort of press conference questions that you could ask in the comment section and leave them in the comments, I'll pick a few out, answer them as a press conference style thing, just so it gets us a bit more immersed into the whole series. I think it makes it a bit more interesting. If there's things that because I know everything about the saves. This is the thing, I know everything about the saves, but you don't necessarily know everything about the saves because you're not the ones playing it. You just watch what I show you. So if you've got questions about that you want to ask in press conferences, then by all means comment them down below and I'll do in press conferences. As I say, it won't be every episode, but every couple of episodes, every few episodes, we'll look to do one. Right, and on to today's episode then. We are playing FC Red Bull Salzburg in the Champions League. Of course, that's what we're playing. And we played RB Leipzig, their sort of sister club, in the previous episode, beat them in the league. We've now got Salzburg in the Champions League, which is going to be pretty tough. You may think Salzburg are a bit of a pushover, but actually, you know, to get to the Champions League group stages, you have to be a decent side. So I think Salzburg will do pretty well. I think we a close battle. I think we should win it, but I don't think it's going to be an easy one to win. We've also been drawn against Victoria Pleasant in the Champions League group and Barcelona, which is going to be ridiculously hard to come against Barcelona. So I think we may come second in the group. I think we've got enough about us to beat Pleasant and Salzburg. Barcelona are going to be a different kettle of fish, though. Since we were last here, we've only played two league games. Hanover took the lead in the 66th minute, but Marco Reus and Maximilian Phillips scored 2 goals later on to make sure we won that one away from home to bring home the 3 points, which was great stuff. After that, we played Eintracht Frankfurt at home, and despite us having about 20 shots to their 3 or 4 shots, Anton Rebic managed to score the goal to make sure they won the game 1-0. Marco Reus on a 5.5 that game also missed a penalty. He played really poorly in that game, so I've only ever seen Marco Reus play incredibly well or just awfully. Marco Reus's goal actually in the Hanover game was another free kick. So we scored a free kick in the Hanover game, a free kick in the Leipzig game, and a free kick in the 1860 Munich game. Now, I barely ever saw direct free kicks go in FM18, and now Marco Reus bagged 3 and 3. So I quite like that because we've not conceded any free kicks yet. So if we score the free kicks and save all ours, I mean, that change is fine by me. Those results mean that after 3 games, we sit 6th in the table on 6 points. Bayern Munich on top of the table on 7 points, but a lot of teams are on 7 points, a lot of teams are on 6 points, a lot of teams are on 4 points. So it's still, I mean, that's obviously 3 games of the season. It's very, very close still, obviously. Now, this episode, I wanted to talk to you about scouting. Now, scouting has changed a little bit, not massively, not as much as I thought it had changed, but it has changed a bit to at least talk to you about it. It's quite interesting. I think this whole screen does now look a lot better. They brought in a new scouting system last time, and it did look a little bit... I don't think it was quite fully worked out yet. It wasn't quite good enough, I don't think. This time, I think they've made it much better and a lot more user-friendly. You can see a lot more information as well. Things that you want to see before you couldn't see, and now you can see them, sort of thing. So I'm quite happy with how this has all changed. I think it's all pretty good. We'll start off with what you see here. So the scout reports come in here. and you now get the little boxes over here that tell you all about them. Now, this guy is not the best one to start off with, actually, because it's telling me to scout him out rather than he's been scouted. His agent is telling us to have a look at him. So we'll just get rid of him for now. We're now scouting the Bundesliga apparently as well. This guy, again, another recommendation from analysts. We're not looking very good at this, are we? I'm trying to get ones that my scouts have actually found, but it's not looking great. Either way, we will use Eric Kasted as what we're going to go for right now. So if a player comes through like this, you can just press Scout Player and your scouts will start to scout him out. So you can see Scouting in progress there. You can click across to Attributes here, so you can quickly see all his attributes. You don't have to click on them anymore to see what his attributes are. You can see it all here. We can see he's got very good free kicks. His decision making is pretty good as well. He's got some good teamwork and vision. To be fair, as a 23-year-old midfielder with that kind of, mental stats and teamwork and vision and decision-making, he could actually be a pretty decent player, so maybe it's a good job to scout him out. As you can see here, though, he is a natural attack midfield centre. Can also play as an advanced playmaker in midfielder, central midfield rather, pretty competently as well. Also pretty comfortable, relatively comfortable out in the wings and in the CDM position, so actually he could be a pretty decent signing if we wanted to have an all-round sort of midfielder. Finally, we can go on to the medical bit, and of course, it tells us all about his condition, injury susceptibility. I think the injury susceptibility comes back after more scouting rather than just telling you about it. I think they have to scout him out a little bit first, but it's pretty interesting. So this is sort of a new look screen here, which I think is pretty nice. I do like the look of this. Like, it just is a lot better. You can also go to the list view as well. If you don't like those cards, you can go to the list, and I'll just be using the lists instead because, I mean, going through the cards is useful, especially when we want to look at this stuff. But if you try and do it all quickly, this is much better. You can also easily see which of the best players recommended to you. As you can see here, John Stones has been recommended to us as the best player possible in the recent scouting updates. Moise Keane there as well, looking pretty good. I think personally, I will use this. You then click on the player, and then you can acknowledge discard, keep scouting, make the offer, things like that through that, and you can just scroll down through every player. So I think I'll personally be using this. I much prefer this way to look at it. I can see all the information a lot clearer, I think, or all the information that I want to see a lot clearer. Also, what I thought was really interesting is that this has now come up as well. At the start of the month, as you can see, 1st September, I got alerted by my chief scout that there are competitions, upcoming competitions starting this month that I may want to scout out. So the Champions League, European International League, Under-19s Champions League, European Under-20s Elite League. I've not heard of that before, but that sounds interesting. The Asian Games and the German Youth Cup. Now, do I want to scout those things? I press yes, scout. I can't press any of them now because I scout them already, but once you press scout, I put the screenshot up, but you can then select exactly what kind of player you're looking for, all the stats, all the attributes, everything that you want to look for in a specific player. You can tailor what you want to find. So I think that's a really cool addition. Like, this is really cool. I think it's a great way to enhance scouting a little bit. I think it's a really cool addition. So I'm pleased with this one. Like, this is something that I didn't know I wanted until I saw it. There's a few minor changes to the player search screen as well. The search mechanics are displayed slightly differently, and you can quickly add players to different shortlists and things like that there. You can also, people don't seem to know it, but you can make multiple shortlists. So on this screen, for example, you go to shortlist, come across here, click on default. You can then press new shortlist. So you can have a shortlist for strikers, shortlist for defenders, shortlist for youth players, sort of thing. Whatever you want to make a shortlist for, you can make multiple ones of them rather than just having one for everyone. So that's scouting. Basically, that is scouting. No, not too many changes, but a few changes to talk about, at least enough changes to talk about, enough changes for me to really like it and want to tell you about it. I should also mention as well, I've changed the purple away. Obviously, Football Manager is now like purple. That's the colour they've gone for this year. And while it is a cool colour, I like the change. I don't think it's the easiest on the eye, or at least it's not the easiest on my eye to read things. So I have changed it to the Football Manager dark skin. So you can change it different colours. If you click on the FM button up here, go to Preferences. On this bit here, it says Skin. I've changed it to Football Manager Dark. Normal Football Manager is the purple. Dark is what you can see right now, like the dark backgrounds. Light is a bit disgusting. It just changes everything to white, but then it's like white text on white backgrounds. It doesn't look that great. So Football Manager Dark is the one for me, I think. Anyway, let's get into today's game. We've made a few changes to the team since you were last here, I believe. Obviously, there's a few injuries that we need to talk about. The injuries that you saw last episode. No one's been injured since then, but we've had to bring in replacements for them, obviously. Berkey stays in goal, as expected, because he's got the same namesake as everyone else. Guerrero is coming in at left back. He's the best left back at the club. He's coming in. He's just come back from an injury himself. Apparently, we should limit him to 75 minutes of action tonight. So we'll do that. We will take him off maybe around 60 minutes or so to make sure he doesn't get too injured. But I do want to get him into the side pretty quickly. The rest of the back line isn't changed, though. Diallo and Kanji and Hakimi are the ones there in that position, so that they're still there from last episode. Axel Witsel is still there as well in the deep line playmaker role. Julian Vigo. Now, a lot of people told me I was saying this guy's name wrong. Julian Vigo. I mean, I'm not quite sure what I've said wrong about that. Hopefully I'm saying it right now. maybe I just wasn't concentrating, said it wrong. But Julian Vigo is there. So he's still in midfield, and he's now being partnered alongside this guy, Mohamed Dahoud. Although apparently I'm saying his name quite wrong as well. And I did read the comment which told me how to say it, but I think I've forgotten it. So we'll just stick with Mohamed Dahoud for now. Of course, it's Thomas Delaney who's injured for another 3 to 5 months now. It's gone down a little bit, actually. It was more like 5 to 6 months last episode, but it's now 3 to 5 months. So maybe he'll get back maybe just after Christmas if we're lucky. I don't know. It'd be nice to have him back, though. Royce stays on the left. Pulisic stays on the right. Although, actually, Royce didn't play very well in the last game. And I keep getting really, really good training reports for Jacob Bruns-Larsen and Jadon Sancho, which again, I'm calling him Jordan, which isn't true because he's not called Jordan. It's Jaden or Jaden, I think it is. So we're going to bring actually Jadon Sancho on for Marco Reus for this game. I know it's a Champions League game, but it's Salzburg. I think we can perhaps be okay with playing Sancho rather than Reus. And then Paco Alcacer is up front for us still. Although I don't think he's scored a competitive goal yet. I don't remember him scoring one in the league or cup yet. So he's yet to start scoring, but I'm sure when he does, he'll be great. Right then, kickoff is upon us here today. We're playing at home against Salzburg. So the strong crowd here at the Signal Iduna Park should be getting right behind us. The yellow wall is going to be absolutely bouncing. One of the things I'd love to see in football, or be a part of in football, is go to Dortmund and be part of that yellow wall, because that would be absolutely incredible, I think, to just be part of that kind of atmosphere. It's one of the best things you can ever experience in football, I think. So I'd love to go to it one day. I'd love to get involved and have an experience at a game in that section of the ground. It'd be fantastic. Let me know actually as well, what other football teams have really, really good atmospheres? I know a lot of Eastern European sides are pretty good at their atmospheres. You got your Red Stars, your Partizan. Obviously the Eternal Derby in Serbia, when that happens, is pretty crazy. As we've got a free kick on the edge of the area, and Mohamed Dahoud gets on the end of it. Guerrero's free kick went all the way back to him, and Dahoud puts it in the back of the net to make sure we go 1-0 up in the game against Salzburg, puts us top of the group as well. I know a lot of the Greek football teams as well, like the atmospheres there at their grounds are pretty crazy and hectic as well. So I'd love to go to these grounds one day and just be part of those atmospheres, because it's one of the best things about football, I think, the atmosphere. And although the atmosphere in a lot of English games, especially at Lincoln City, the atmosphere there is really, we just hit the crossbar. The atmosphere at Lincoln City is really, really good. But obviously it's nothing compared to the ultras of, the Eastern European or the Greek countries and things like that. That's just another level. All right, well, Injury Manager 2019 continues. Mohamed Dahoud just picks up a knock there. He should be okay to continue, though, I think. The analysis, I'll look at that in a second after he just wins the ball back, actually, there for us. So he can't be too badly injured. The ball goes forward towards Sancho, who manages to get it across to Paco Alcacer, who it's his second goal of the season, so I did lie to you. He has scored a goal already. That's his second goal of the season, his first of the Champions League. And Victoria Pleasant are still drawing with Barcelona, which is very good news for us. Dahoud has suffered a bruised ankle, but it's the sort of thing he should be able to play through. So we'll keep an eye on his condition, but we probably will substitute him at some point in the second half. Diallo just getting on the end of a corner, putting it over the bar. It's been all us so far. I thought this would be a close game, or closer than it actually is, but by looks of things, we really are dominating. Oh, Pulisic also picks up a knock now. I mean, it's a potential knee injury, a pulled knee apparently. That's not great. I've never really experienced loads of injuries, to be fair. We had the odd, that was a bad team talk. Guerrero, why did you not say anything, assistant manager? I trust you in these situations to say things, but he's not. So we'll just talk to Guerrero and just say calmly, I'm very happy with the performance so far tonight. He just looks confused now rather than demotivated. Football Manager 18, I know a lot of people suffered loads of injuries, and I never really did. But this game so far, it just seems to be a bit of a joke with injuries. Or maybe it's just me. I don't know. Maybe it's a training. Perhaps I'm putting them on too much training. Perhaps I need to look at that. Although at the moment, my assistant manager still does it for me. Perhaps, though, it is just a beta bug as well. Let me know in the comment section, how many bugs have you found so far, or how many bugs are you suffering from in the beta? I think there's a few things that do need to change, perhaps injuries, but perhaps that's just part of the game that I'm getting wrong at the moment. It could very easily be that. There are a few things that I've noticed in the game that I think I want to see change. I'll talk to you about it back when we get on the screen after the highlight. We've got a chance to come forward once again. Pulisic gets on the end of that beautiful pass from Vigo, who puts it back to Paco Alcacer. He scores his second of the game. It makes it 3-0 on the night, puts us back on top of the group. This is what I want to talk about as well. Obviously, these colours change depending on how good a player is going. However, it doesn't go red unless you get to less than a 6 rating. So you can see here, players on a 6.2 are the same colour as a 6.9. I'd like to see it maybe go orange at 6.5-ish, and then start to go into the red at 6 and things like that. like the greens go from a light green to a dark green, the better a player's playing. Again, that could just be a beta bug, or perhaps it's an intentional design, I don't know, but we'll probably see when the game is fully released in November. You also can't click on these anymore to make the change. If you click on it, it just takes you to the tactics screen. In the other games, it would just change it for you, which was... I quite like that, to be fair. But actually, now we are in the tactics screen, we will make changes. We will bring Guerrero off because he does need to have a rest. Now, I forgot to put Schmelzer on the bench, I believe. So Zagadou may have to go there temporarily. I know he doesn't like to play there, but he's going to have to do that for now. We're also going to take off Dahoud and Pulisic as well. So I think can we bring Goetze on at that right-hand side for Pulisic? Does he like to play there? Oh, no, not particularly. We will bring Jacob Bruns-Larsden on, though, because we'll give him a run out when we give Marco Reus a rest for this game. And then Dahoud is also going to come off for Goetze, I suppose. So Goetze has to come on there in the central midfield role. He doesn't like it too much, but he's the only one that we've got on the bench that's decent enough. So there we go. The changes have gone through. They're the substitutes we're going to make. 3 at the same time, a little bit risky, but we are 3-0 up in this game. And by looks of things, the stats... we're pretty comfortably in this game. Well, not much action in the second half. The game is coming to a close now. Not many highlights at all. We just seem to have closed the game out in the second half. That's all we need to do, really. Just close the game out. We were already, 2-0 up at half-time, 3-0 after 50, 60 minutes or so. So all we had to do was close the game out, make sure we got the 3 points. Barcelona have gone ahead of us in the table, so I assume they're beating Victoria Pleasant by 4 or more goals, essentially. The highlight has been won back for us here, the ball back in our possession as we're trying to come forward, although there's 15 seconds left in the game, so I don't think there's much going to happen. I also noticed, well, the curve of the ball seems to be a lot more noticeable in this game than it has in previous games, I think. Maybe that's just me, I don't know, but I feel like the curve on the ball when players pass it has changed. So there we go, a 3-0 win over Salzburg, much easier than I thought it was going to be. So actually I think we should get out of this group pretty comfortably with Barcelona. Next episode then, we will play 2 games. I think we'll go back to the 2 games for the next episode. Unless, of course, in the comment section you decide that you want to, if you want me to explain something else, if there's more features that you want me to talk about in a bit more detail, please do let me know in the comment section. I will get around to doing it. Next episode, I will do Victoria Pleasant and FC Augsburg. I think that'll be quite a good episode to do. Of course, Victoria Pleasant got absolutely battered by Barcelona, I think. In fact, what was the score of Victoria Pleasant game? If we look at their schedule, 4-0 they lost to Barcelona away from home. So when they play us, hopefully we should do the same to them. So thank you very much for watching today's episode. Hope you have enjoyed it. If you have done, make sure you do drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here with notification bells turned on. The giveaway is still going on down in the comment section as well, which is fantastic stuff. Make sure you get involved in that. It's going to be really, really good. And I'll see you next time for some more Football Manager 2019 action.